Welcome to A Word with Wayde. I'm Wayde, your host, and I'll be sitting down with artists from all over the country. We'll dive into their craft, their stories, and the moments that shape their sound. No matter the journey these artists have made, you'll hear about it on A Word with Wayde. Welcome to A Word with Wayde, where I chat to creatives about their art, their processes, and so much more to get a good insight in them and what they do. Today's guest has been described as a melting pot of 70s folk rock mixed with some Americana and some tinges of modern pop. Her debut album, Talking with Strangers, is out now, full of love and healing and so much more. I'd like to welcome to the show, Maxon. How are you, Maxon?
I'm good. How are you going?
I'm good, and I hope I pronounced that right. I normally like to check before I jump right in.
You've done well. Maxon is perfect. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess my first sort of question is really kind of, I guess, I love knowing how artists come to their end product. Now, obviously, having listened to some of the album, I'm not going to lie and say I've already listened to the whole thing, but I definitely will be. But I noticed there's a lot of layers instrumentally in this album, and I'm just wondering, like, first of all, did you play that all yourself?
Absolutely not.
I kind of didn't think so, but I didn't want to assume. But so I guess my question to you is, what is your process like? Do you play something yourself, like a piano or a guitar or something, and then come to a band to flesh out? Is that, or is there another way you do it?
In the past, that's exactly how I've done it. This record was only slightly different in the sense that, so my partner and I wrote all the songs. We built a little bit of a world around it, and then we took it to a producer who I loved and had worked with before on a single. And it was we sat in a studio for a couple of weeks doing a bit of pre-production and kind of figuring out what the world was going to be, what the sound was going to be, and then we kind of picked our musicians based on that. So some that came from us and people that had been working with us for a long time, and some that had come from Jono, the producer, and his connections, and some people internationally as well, sending us files.
Yeah,
So that's kind of how we created the record, very slowly with
yeah,
lots of different musicians. Yeah. It's
I love it.
it's a real collaborative
Yeah.
record.
So would you say you sort of went to these artists that you wanted to have on board? Obviously, once you gained their approval, they were keen to be involved. Did you then just say, okay, so this is what we're bringing to the table, go away and come back with your parts, or did you give them guidance like outside of just like chord progressions and melodies and stuff, or like you said it's collaborative, so I kind of feel like maybe I've already answered the question myself, but
Yeah, it's so funny. Some people got little snippets of things before they came in, but for the most part, we were quite wanting to make it very organic. So we had people coming in. Obviously, they'd said yes, and for a while, and we kind of figured out what dates they were going to come in, and they'd come in, and it was very organic and very collaborative in the moment. I really wanted this record to not just be a home for me. I wanted to make it a home for everyone. So
love
in
that.
doing that, I wanted a lot of different energy in it. So everyone was able to sort of sprinkle a bit of their personality through the record as well.
I absolutely love that. I love two things that I've picked up so far as we've been talking on camera as opposed to before. I love the fact that you described creating the album as creating a world. And I love the fact that you described you and the people involved as it being like a home. I really love those sort of analogies, I suppose you could say. Um, so they mentioned your PR, lovely PR people mentioned that there's a lot of love and healing and honesty. That's the other word that I couldn't read before. Love, healing, and honesty on the album. So I'm going to have to assume there that there's been some hurt in order to to come to a place of needing healing. How do you go about turning something that fundamentally, I can't think of a better word, but hurtful, and turning it into something so beautiful?
Thank you. Yeah, that's a process in itself, isn't it? It's funny, I've always written from a place of self-expression and healing anyway. And
Yeah,
I think that in that, I've managed to create some sort of like uplifting, positive message within the grief and the heartbreak and the anger or all the things that you need to do to process those emotions.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like just like the album's not really linear in a journey. It's very like here's this little home away from home, and then also here's a little story about my brother, and here's a little bit, but they're all interconnected by this freedom of recognizing that it all comes from love and lessons, right? And then
yes.
here, as the record's not linear, healing is never linear either, and it's a process. And so everything I do and write has to feel like there's forward movement happening, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because like I've been on somewhat of a healing journey myself for probably the past 3 to 4 years. I lost my mum rather suddenly, and I guess it sent me on a bit of a spiral, but also a bit of a seeking sort of journey. And so I've sought out, healing myself. And one of the things that I guess struggled with the most at the start was realizing that the healing isn't linear, like it's not, okay, here's the problem, let's heal that and then move on to the next thing. It's like comes in waves, as they say. One day you feel like you're doing up here, next minute you're back down and you're like, wow. So I feel like based on my personal experience, I feel like that's kind of an analogy for the album. Like it's going to be quite the journey. There's going to be waves of emotion and ups and downs.
And that's I'm sorry to hear that about your beautiful mama, but that's what life is, right? That's what being human is. It's messy and it's hard, it's contradictory, it's deeply layered with all of these different things. Yes. And that was what I really wanted to do with this record, is like, okay, well, how do you put that into a feeling of home and a positive message? It's like, we're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to feel all of these emotions. We have them for a reason. But we're also not meant to do that alone.
Yes.
And we're supposed to be in community. And that was part of the reason why we had so many voices on the record.
I love
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. And like, there's a saying that I remember hearing when I was a young boy, greater than the sum of the parts. And I think music is a perfect example of where that really shines through, because like when you've got one artist, sure, they might make some incredible music, but once they start opening it up to bringing other people in, even if it's the producer, not even necessarily another musician or singer or whatever, but just bringing those other people in, it 99% of the time it's always greater than any one person added together, if that makes sense. As you've been speaking, like I've been getting goosebumps, and like that don't happen often for me. So I feel like, and it's probably a combination of talking to you, but also having just been listening to a few of the songs on the album. Like I feel like that's just indicative of just the authentic nature of what you're doing. Like you're not hiding behind anything. I feel like you're just showing it all, bearing it all, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. And I think that's really something lost a lot in society, especially with the invent of like AI. And don't worry, we're not going down that road. I'll get very heated and I don't want to, but I love the fact that there's musicians and other artists like, painters and dancers and that are still expressing so authentically, because I think we need that in life. Like we're not meant to be perfect specimens of whatever. We're supposed to have flaws and unique features, and that's what makes everything beautiful. And I guess you've got a whole melting pot of all of that on this album.
Oh, you're saying it so beautifully. It's it's life. We're human beings. We're alive beings. We are with emotions, and we are designed to go slowly and be careful with each other's hearts, and be in villages and be in community. And so it was really important to me that we bring that back somehow, and yeah, I can say so much on this topic, and the album
Yeah,
does say a lot, but it's like, it's okay to talk about what's hard, it's okay to talk about what's real, and it's also okay to take breaks from that
absolutely.
and feel good and eat nourishing foods and hug one another, and
You're preaching to the choir
yeah.
over here. Honestly, it's so refreshing to hear other people speak like that. Like that's the journey I've kind of been on and trying my best to do that both for myself, but also I have a teenage son, and so I'm trying to show him like break those generational mistakes of the past that I grew up in and that my parents grew up in, and it's so lovely to hear people like yourself out there like just literally saying like what I'm trying to trying to do in my life. Yeah,
There's a lot of us out there. There
I,
really is, and
I'm learning
it's
that.
yeah, as much as it feels like sometimes you're like yelling down no, the echo just takes a little bit longer to come back. That's all. But it's we're all there, and we're there's change coming for sure.
I think so. I think so. But there's a saying, something to the effect of like, you've got to break it down before you can rebuild it up. And I feel like kind of that's what's happening right now, where a lot of things seem to be coming to their breaking point, and
Yeah.
it's scary, and it's, we're all like unsure and uncertain. But I think at the end of the day, we're gonna see a rebirth in time, and um, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I probably should, because I know I'm already getting close to the end of my time. I don't know if you've got other chats you need to do, but I am always mindful of the time that I've given. But I do just really want to quickly touch on, you are doing a launch for this album at the TOFF on May 7th. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Fantastic. I'm not familiar with the venue, but it sounds pretty cool. From
Yeah,
what
it's a
I heard.
beautiful venue, actually. It's really lovely. We're doing a seated show in there, so it's usually
Oh,
a standing venue, but they're going to do a bit of a theatre seated show
I
for
love
us.
that. I love that.
And it finishes at 9 p.m., so we'll be tucked back in bed by 10, which is very exciting.
No, nothing wrong with that. Like who says that rock shows and music shows and all that have to be like till all hours of the night? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with being finished and done by 9 p.m. That actually
yeah,
suits me fine. If I was there, I'd be there with bells on. But do you have
yeah.
um probably a silly question, I guess, because I'm sure that you definitely would. But do you have plans to take the show like around to other places, like outside of your home as well?
Yeah,
'Cause I'd
at
love
the
to see you in
moment,
Adelaide.
yeah, I actually had another request the other day, and I was like, "Oh, we haven't ventured out that way yet, and we'd absolutely love to." At this stage, we're doing the kind of standalone, one and only launch in Melbourne with the full seven-piece band. But Nay and I will tour as a duo, so we'll be coming around for sure with a more intimate kind of version of the show.
Yeah, I do feel like, and I think this is a testament to your songwriting, but I do feel like, as much as you've got the lush layers of instrumentation and collaboration on the album, I feel like the songs will stand really nicely just as a duo as well. And I think that's like speaks to your songwriting, because like if you peel back all the layers and the song doesn't really stand up, it's sort of like, well, you're kind of hiding behind all the production, But I don't feel that's the case with you. I think these songs just I could just picture them being very intimate shows, and I think that'd be awesome. There's actually a venue down here
Mm.
that I just discovered recently. I'm just trying to think what it was called, but there's a guy called Flynn Gurry. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, we've played a show with Flynn before.
So I actually went and saw him because I had him on the show recently, and he was playing in Adelaide, or not in Adelaide, but in South Australia at a winery down McLaren Vale Way. And I reckon that would be a perfect place for you, because I think
Mm.
there's such a beautiful crowd there, like, and they're all outdoors on the grass. There's kids running around having fun, and it's just very, very
Mm.
lovely venue. I don't know what the logistics would be, but I reckon that would be such a great place for your music to be heard. So
Oh, thanks for that. That sounds awesome. We'll definitely have to check it out.
just check with Flynn, because I cannot for the life of me remember the
Yeah.
name. I was only there a couple of weeks ago too. That's the thing about.
You'll think of it as soon as we hang up.
Most likely, I'll jump on social media and find you so I can let you know. But no, but honestly, like you've done a really great album here. I'm looking forward to diving right in and listening to the rest of it because what I've heard of it so far is just absolutely beautiful, and the world needs more of that. I wish you really all the best with your show on May the
Mm,
7th, and hopefully I'll get to catch you when you do make
yeah.
your way to Adelaide. I think that'd be awesome to catch you live and get to experience it in the flesh because that's where music lives in my book. So.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Maxon, for taking some time to have a word with Wayde. And you're welcome back anytime. So feel free to reach out if you ever got more albums or gigs or whatever's coming up. Would always have you back. So thank you so much. And yeah, like
Thank you.
I hope the album reaches far and wide because yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having. Yeah, we had a little glitch, but
Yeah.
I got it. Thank you.
No, no, you're
Thanks so
welcome.
much for having me today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. No worries. All right. Well, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll keep my ears out for
You
all
too.
right.
Awesome. Nice to meet
You too,
you.
Maxim. Bye.
Bye.